What's up, guys? So between YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, I receive many messages. And one of the common messages that I've seen lately is people saying things like, "Hey, Jay, man, I see you are really enjoying yourself in Dominican Republic." And they follow that up with, what is some of the best advice you can give to someone who is looking to move to Dominican Republic? And for me, that's a very broad question, especially now, because it depends on what you're really asking. Because you could be asking like, what is my best advice when moving to Dominican Republic to find an apartment? What's my best advice moving to Dominican Republic when if I'm trying to ship my car, or if I'm trying to find the best place for me to live? Or it could be if I'm trying to immerse myself into the culture. So it could be a variety of things. So it just depends on what you're looking for in order for me to say or give my recommendations as to what you should do. But we're gonna focus on one because I'm assuming that it means immersing into the culture, because enjoying yourself doesn't have anything to do with finding an apartment, shipping a car, find the best place to live, anything like that. It has more to do with immersing yourself in the culture. So I want to give my best advice on what I believe will help you enjoy yourself a little bit more or a lot more if you decide to move to Dominican Republic. And a lot of times people want to equate my results to the fact that my wife is Dominican. And that's far from the truth. That's not why I get the results that I got. That's not why I enjoy being here. The reason why I enjoy being here is for the things that I'm going to talk to you about right now. And it has nothing to do with my wife. I personally think these three things will help you out in having a better experience living here in Dominican Republic. So I laid this out in 3 points. Now, some of these points are going to overlap, but I think that separating them like this makes a little bit more sense to me, and maybe makes more sense to you. So the first one I'm going to say is adaptability. This means you're going to have to be adaptable to your new environment, or it's not going to work out. There's no way around that. Let go of the comparisons. Stop comparing everything to the United States or your home country. It's different here. And that's the whole point. Stay curious instead of being so judgmental about everything. Approach these differences as an opportunity for you to learn. I see it all the time when I meet people. They are so judgmental about every single thing. And in the back of my mind, I'm asking, why are you here then? Go back home. I understand that initial attitude from some people, because I would be a hypocrite to say I didn't think the same way or believe the same way. But I had no one to tell me any different. But I'm here telling you that if you continue to compare this place to your home country, you're going to stay frustrated. I was invited to work out with a guy who just moved back to Dominican Republic. That's my guy, man. And we had a great workout. By the way, man, you worked me out, brother. But I remember during our conversation, he was telling me, the challenges he was having getting everything set up in his new apartment. 2 things I kept hearing him say when he was talking. And one of them was, I'm not used to that, or it's not like that back in the US. Really, that particular conversation, along with the comments I read, kind of sparked this video. But I understood his frustration because it was new to him. Even though he was Dominican, it's still new to him. When you're coming here and you're living and not vacationing, it's totally different. I'm not saying you shouldn't think that way or feel that way, because we know that we're going somewhere else. But in the back of our mind, sometimes we still believe that things are a little bit like the US, and it's really not. So you have to approach these differences differently. Give yourself some grace. So start focusing on what's going well rather than what's frustrating you or what's different. And I'm telling you, you'll have a better experience. If you want the country to be like the place you left, then just stay there. Also, try to learn some local phrases, man. It doesn't matter if you butcher the words. The people appreciate your effort. Listen, I have a southern drawl. I'm from Alabama. I butcher the English language. So just imagine what I do to this Spanish over here. I murk it. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak Spanish, but I try. And that's what matters. Another thing, adjust to the time perceptions. Here in DR, they are relaxed about punctuality. Nobody is in a hurry to do anything for you. So understand on time means something very different to Dominicans. But relax, it'll get done. Maybe not on Monday as you expected, maybe it'll be Saturday, but it will get done. And understand, things are not gonna always go your way, but that's not failure, that's a part of the experience. Just be flexible when plans change. It's no big deal. It's not the end of the world. Also, stay in problem-solving mode. Learn to do things independently. And don't be afraid to ask for help when it's needed. Yes, you're gonna mess things up. You're gonna get lost. You're gonna say the wrong things, but don't beat yourself up about it. Laugh, learn, and move on. That's what I do. I don't beat myself up about things that I can't control. I just move on. And this is one thing that a lot of people struggle with, and that's adapting to the culture here. Adapting to those norms. Guys, just because you come over here and you listen to bachata, or you sit at a kamado and have a beer, or you talk to a Dominican woman or a Dominican man, that doesn't mean you're adapting. Adapting is way much deeper than that. There's layers and layers of adapting when it comes to culture. That's like some people say, I adapt to black culture. Hey, I listen to hip hop. Oh, I like basketball. Or I eat soul food. You know what I'm saying? That's not black culture. Black culture is layers and layers and layers deeper than what's on the surface that everybody can see. Same thing applies here. So being able to adapt has made my experience that much more better. My apologies, I had to move from my stairway all the way upstairs because the cleaning lady came in and she's gonna be doing the dishes down there, and I know she's gonna be making some noise, and I didn't want that to interfere with our discussion. So we're gonna move on to the next one. And the next point is, and it's probably the one that I hate the most that I see from people when they come here, and that's entitlement. Man, you guys have to let go of the entitlement. Whenever I see the entitlement, whether it's when people I meet or from afar, when I can tell that these people are foreigners, man, it's embarrassing and disgusting. The level of entitlement that I see, especially from Americans. So remember, some of the items we cover in these points are gonna overlap, but to me, it's important that I reinforce some of those items in the points so you guys get a clear understanding of what I'm trying to say. But I see people constantly comparing Dominican Republic to their country, but they do it in a negative way. But let me let you in on the secret. No one cares that this isn't your home country. It's not your country on purpose. I see people refusing to learn or adapt to the local customs. They just want to do things their way. They're expecting things to change or accommodate them instead of them trying to learn how things work locally. You're here to learn about the country, not convert it. And my question is, why do you want this place to be like the place you left? Isn't that the reason why you moved here? Is because you didn't like where you were? And if you didn't like where you were, why would you want to bring where you were here? That doesn't make any sense to me. And what I've noticed from people is they want the conveniences of America to be here, but leave the inconveniences in America there. That's not how shit works. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. You take the good with the bad. You weigh your options. Certain things people can tolerate, certain things people can't tolerate. It all depends on your tolerance level. If your tolerance level is low for the inconveniences of Dominican Republic, then you shouldn't be here. Go find somewhere else to live. Stop talking about these people in their country. Take your ass somewhere else. They don't want people with that attitude here anyway, trust me. But if your tolerance is high for the inconveniences here, which mine is, I have a high tolerance for the inconvenience because I would rather put up with their inconveniences than the inconveniences in my home country. Another entitlement that I see is why they don't speak English. You know why they don't speak English? Because this is a Spanish-speaking country, fool. That's why. This isn't English class. Expecting people to speak English in a non-English speaking country is wild work. I see people getting frustrated or dismissive when people doesn't understand what they're saying. That's not their problem, that's your problem. And I know people say, well, they know foreigners come over here, blah, blah, blah. So what? There are areas where people do speak English where they accommodate foreigners. Santo Domingo is not one of those places. If you want to be accommodated by people who speak a lot of English, go to Punta Cana. Go to those areas where you'll find more people that speak English. But when you're in Santo Domingo, they're not catering to English speaking people. I see people trying to raise their voice and speak loud as if they're gonna understand you because you're raising your voice speaking English. No, try to speak Spanish and try to speak it clearly. If you try to make an effort, they'll try to help you out. So try to learn some local basic phrases, because trying shows respect and it'll get you a whole lot further than not trying. And to piggyback off that, you hear things like, oh, this isn't convenient, complaining about the slow bureaucracy, different schedules, without understanding why some of these things happen. Now, a lot of times there is no rhyme or reason for it, but then there are times when it is. And it's not slow, it's just their pace. Because I see it all the time and hear it. People believe that their standard of efficiency and services is superior and the local inconveniences are beneath them. I'll give you an example. My wife showed me a comment on her channel where a guy was talking about getting a bank account here in Dominican Republic. He was saying that, and I'm paraphrasing some of this stuff, but it was more like, if I have to go through this long process, going through all these checks and people treat me as I'm a criminal to deposit money, I'd rather not do it. Because here you just can't go into a bank and just open a bank account in a day. It doesn't work like that. And he was saying things like, so you don't want my $20,000? If I walk in the bank and with $20,000, you don't want it? If I was in America and I walked in a bank and I gave the teller $20,000, they're gonna treat me like a king. Matter of fact, they're gonna offer me their lunch. Man, nobody gives a fuck about your $20,000. And to me, that's a form of entitlement. You're thinking just because you got 20 grand that people just supposed to bend the knee to you? People over here got money too. And he went on to say, oh, when you go to the ATM, they only give you $200, you have a $200 limit. It should be more in the States. Bro, go back to the States. Take your ass back to the States and withdraw all the money you want. Here, it's $200 at the ATM. You're not gonna change it. So why are you getting on my wife's channel complaining about it? Who cares? She can't change it. You can't change it. Shut the fuck up and move on. Yes, I understand it could be an inconvenience. Okay. Now what? Another form of entitlement is disregarding local laws and customs. Listen, there is a public behavior expectation here. And I know in America, that doesn't exist. You could jump on top of the cars and twerk in the middle of the street. You go into restaurants and you can scream at the cashier. You could jump out your car while having road rage and yell at the driver and all this type of stuff. That doesn't work here. You look stupid. And when I see this and I hear him say, man, they don't even know me. I do this in here. I turn it. Bro, you ain't gonna do nothing. Trust me, you ain't gonna do a damn thing here. Shut up and move on with your life. You try that stuff here, those public stunts here, and you will regret it. Nobody cares where you from. I'm from the Bronx, or I'm from Chicago, or I'm from Miami, I'm from Alabama. Nobody gives a fuck where you from. And thinking you can get away with things just because you're a foreigner, fuck around and find out. And this other sense of entitlement, and when people acting like they're some type of savior or this big spender here, flaunting their wealth in a way where it's like disrespectful to the local economy. And I see this all the time. People believe they are saving the locals by spending money. Just because you spending money here, bro, that don't mean you saving the country. Trust me, if you never come back here, they would not care. I dump a lot of money into this economy. And trust me, if I decide to pack my bags up and leave, they would not miss me. There was a time where all you seen on YouTube was people leaving Dominican Republic or talking about, oh, why everybody's leaving, as if the country was gonna go bankrupt. I guarantee you nobody over here misses anybody that left Dominican Republic. Your contribution to this country in form of your dollars is a drop in the bucket. You're not saving anybody over here. So get that out your mind. Listen, man, being abroad don't mean you're special. It just means you're responsible. Check your entitlement at the airport, at immigration, and show up with some respect. And listen, if you're one of these entitled people, don't ever contact me. I don't want to hang out with you. Because me losing my sense of entitlement because I'm an American helped me with having this better experience here. So learn instead of judging, adapt instead of expecting, and connecting instead of controlling. This will make your experience much better. The next item is fitting in. Try to blend in socially. And I know Americans have a hard time doing that because we are an individual society. Everybody has to have their own aura. Everybody is trying to outdo the next person, look different, talk different, dress different, all this individualistic stuff just so they can stand out. Not saying you can't do that, because you can stand out as much as you want to stand out, but it's not going to help you blend in socially. I don't want to walk around this country and everybody know that I'm American. So go places, watch how people dress, watch how they greet each other, and copy that. It shows that you care enough to learn and not just to visit. And when I say copy that, I mean put your own flavor to it. If you're living in Punta Cana or you're living in Sosúa or Puerto Plata, these coastal towns and tourist towns, even Las Terrenas, the dress code when you go out is different. You can wear shorts and flip-flops in place. In Santo Domingo, that just doesn't fly. You have to dress the part here. So keep that in mind when you visit Santo Domingo, that dress code does matter. It doesn't matter that you're on the island. Santo Domingo is different from any other part of the island. Again, observe how the locals behave in public and adjust accordingly. Notice how they greet each other. Here they greet each other with a kiss on the cheek. Also greet your neighbors. Get out in the streets and greet local vendors. Get involved in local activities. Join some classes like the gym or salsa. Even if you don't know anyone, just showing up says, I want to be a part of this. And don't just hit the tourist restaurants. Go to some of these local spots. Try different foods, man. Don't be looking at the food as if you ain't never seen it before. They look at rice and they look at chicken and act like they ain't never seen it before. They call it pollo guisado con arroz. The name is just different. We call it chicken and rice. Same damn thing. I see people looking at a piece of bread with meat on top and then another piece of bread and look at it like they ain't never seen it before. It's called a damn sandwich. It's not gonna hurt you. Give it a try. I'm not saying become a whole different person. What I'm saying is don't lose yourself, but blend in just enough to belong while still being you. And to me, that's the real cultural connection. So when you see me having a good time and enjoying myself, it's not for the camera. It's not for YouTube. It's not for Instagram. It's not for TikTok. It's because I truly enjoy being here and I truly enjoy the culture. And the way I do it is those three things I just named. I'm adaptable. I don't have a sense of entitlement. And I do what I can to fit in without losing who I am. Was it easy? No. It was definitely challenging in the beginning, but it has gotten me the results that I wanted. So the idea that my wife being Dominican is the reason why I'm enjoying myself here is false. Nothing I spoke about my wife can do for me. I had to do it myself. I think a lot of times when people make those comments, it's just a cop-out because they're a bad person. They got a bad attitude. They don't know how to adapt. They have a sense of entitlement and they don't want to fit in. And that's not the problem of Dominican Republic. That's your problem. And that's why nobody likes you. So guys, remember, always keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present because that's the only way you're going to live your best life. And I'm out. Peace.
You both got my best life, yeah. You both got my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both got my best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I know.